I play this video as a warning. I've owned a lot of cars. This was one truck I bought new. Last one I ever bought new. I'll tell you why later. But this is a warning off of eBay Motors because they may. Not only do you get screwed and they take no responsibility, um, it can cost the life of a loved one. So let's start. So I was in the market for a 7.3 liter diesel Ford Excursion. This is a picture of it. Sorry about the blurry. This dealership has done everything to stop me from getting photos and to pursue them for damages on what they did to my son. They forced me to a contract. Make a long story short, they doctored the photos. They painted it with non-automotive paint. When the vehicle got to my house, I showed my kids. My son was in the back of the car. The ventilation system had so many holes, so the paint warmed up and then basically poisoned my son. Um, so yeah, I went to eBay Motors. They offered no assistance. They didn't care. I put bad reviews on there. He asked a question to have it removed because he knows the ins and outs. I couldn't get anything. He lives in a one-horse town. The dealership goes to lunch or dinner with the judge. You can't get a lawyer because it's a one-horse town and it's a conflict of interest. So he's basically free from any type of litigation. Luckily, my son didn't die, but buyer beware. Stay away from eBay Motors and stay away from this New Jersey truck king. Avoid them like a plague. It could cost you a loved one, and they're not going to take responsibility for them. I lost thousands of dollars off of a vehicle, and I did my research. It said 100%, and it just wasn't. He had doctored the reviews. So just because it says 100%, I got this one off of Craigslist, no issue. I bought my Jeep off of auction, no issue. Just avoid eBay Motors. So this is what happened. My son was in the back of the car. The car was running. I'd like to give special thanks to Fire Department 91, LAFD, for coming out there and testing the vehicle. This is what we found. He had used a non-automotive paint to cover up the rust on the exhaust system. There were holes in the ventilation system that had seeped up and then poisoned my son. So he said he wasn't feeling well. He was bright pink in color, which is common for this. These are just pictures of rust that was covered up by the dealership. Wiring harness where it ate right through the wiring, getting electrical problems. You know, my son, thank God, lived, but no one's taking responsibility, and they know the ways to get around the laws. So I'm serving this as a public service announcement. Buyer beware. I'm not saying all vehicles at eBay Motors, but please, if you can, take it off eBay Motors, talk to the owner, find out what the history is, do research other than what eBay says they are. This is a picture of the hole where it rusted through and sucked in the exhaust chemicals into the cab. This is pictures of the back where they clearly spray painted to cover up the rust. This is just, it's horrible, and people are getting screwed, and I almost lost my son over this. Not to mention the hassle and everything else. Now, an update. I did buy another vehicle from eBay Motors. I bought that military truck. The deal was I got a hold of the owner. I took it off of eBay and talked to him directly. Found out what his background was. He wasn't out to screw. He just wanted to sell it to clear his toys. And before everything was said and done, I took a plane flight and I went out there and looked at it. This vehicle, I did not. They delivered it to me. The exception to the rule is eBay Motors. I had not. I contacted them several times, and sir, we don't care. We don't care. It's just a transaction to them. They just don't care. These are just several pictures of all the rust that was hidden from the initial photos. I'd love to bring them up, but they had them deleted, and I wasn't able to pull them off of the platform they had because of some security block. So I lost thousands off of this car and almost lost my son. So buyer beware. You know, if you're going to buy from different stuffs, I haven't got much on Marketplace. OfferUp seems to be going okay. Craigslist, I've done several vehicles with that, so I'm not worried about that. These are pictures of the inside. These are kind of the photos they sent me, but you know, they made sure they can do the door, and they were very defensive, and they wanted the money right away. So if it doesn't feel right and you feel you're getting screwed, walk away. Once you wire money to them, the crooks have the money. I got delivery of the car, and that was it. Sight unseen was an issue, and trusting a dealership off of eBay Motors, very bad. This, by the way, this is how the headlights were gone. Tape. They were so cheap they wouldn't even replace the freaking plugs. They just put some epoxy tape on it to hold the headlights in. You know, New Jersey trucking, avoid them like the plague. Buyer beware.